All right, y'all know I wasn't about to let the day go by without talking about Anthony Joshua almost getting sent to the upper room by Daniel Dubois. I was totally wrong. See my face breaking out and shit, man. This shit crazy. Had a little bit of Chinese food and my shit just break out, but we ain't here. Yeah, man, like that shit was crazy, bruh. Oh my god, nasty work right here, bro. This is nasty work right here, bro. We putting this up. We putting this for the world to see. Nasty work. AJ got sent to the upper room. 5-round destruction. Frank Warren just got Eddie Hearn's number. Frank Warren just got Eddie Hearn's number. Straight up and straight down. Frank Warren has Eddie Hearn's number. That's just what it is. If it's 779311, he got his number. He got his number flat out. He got his number. He got his number, bro. He got the numbers. He got the numbers. And what we seen in this fight was Anthony Joshua not be able to handle Dubois' punch, but Dubois can handle his punch. That's just what it boiled down to. And what's so funny is right before he got knocked out, he stuck his tongue out and he came back and hurt Dubois with a couple right hands. Now, the sequence in which he got knocked out, which was funny, he threw a left hook and like he kind of caught Dubois, but Dubois punched with him. Like Dubois I think he nicked AJ, and AJ came back with another left hook, which is
all his weight was on his front toe, on his front foot. He was off balance. He threw another left hook, and Dubois countered that left hook with a right hook. So he threw a left hook to catch Dubois. They grazed each other, they exchanged hooks. AJ threw a left, he threw a right. AJ threw another left hook off his front foot. And Dubois countered her with a right hook. I think that was the game plan, was to counter Anthony Joshua now with that right hook. And that right hook did a lot of damage. That right hook, because he got to think about it. He threw a left hook. Wow, he threw that left. He nicked Dubois, and Dubois threw a right. He came back with a left hook. Dubois threw the right. That was something they was working on in training. Because he threw that left, Dubois just threw that right hook. And that second right, after he threw that second left, Dubois hit him with that right hook. It was a wrap. AJ hurt him. But Dubois was battle tested. That's the difference. Dan Dubois was battle tested. You know, he been in there with Joe Joyce, and we wrote him off after he fought Joe Joyce. We wrote him off. We wrote him off. He got stopped by a jab, and then a lot of people thought he was beating Usyk, and then he got the controversy with the body shot, and then he lost that fight, and those trials and tribulations built Daniel Dubois. He's a fighter that's been through adversity. Anthony Joshua's a fighter that's been match made to get to where he at. They made him look better than what he is. Dubois been match made by the trials and tribulations of boxing. He been brought up by the old ranks. He lost some fights, and it didn't stop him from being a world champion. It made him more of a complete fighter. It was just simple as, he was determined. And it was a rumor out there that, Dubois hurt AJ in sparring. So maybe that's why Dubois was so confident going into this fight, because he knew he can hurt Anthony Joshua because he done it in sparring before. So it don't really surprise me none, man. To keep it funky with y'all, that don't surprise me none, man. And that's why he felt so confident. Every time he threw it, he hurt Anthony Joshua. Every time. Right hand, left hand, whatever it was. He knew it. He was accurate. When Anthony Joshua punched, he was able to take the punch, and he was the better fighter. Flat out. He was the better fighter. I mean, it wasn't nothing else to speak about. He came in with the mentality like, you know what? I came up short versus Usyk. I came up short versus Daniel Dubois. He came in with the mentality to win. He was not going to be deterred. You know, he was moving his foot. He was moving his feet off the line. He was using his feet to get himself off the line. He was feinting. He was coming behind the jab. No, did he? And for the most part, he was moving his legs. He was using his legs to get his head off the line. That was the difference. He used his legs to get his head off the line. You know, that was the difference. You know, and even though he was the slower fighter in there, he was the more resilient. He was the more power punching fighter. He used his legs a bunch tonight. He used his legs to get out of range. He used his legs to get off the line. You know what I'm saying? That's something they must have been working on. And he was making Anthony Joshua move backwards. He was dictating the real estate in there. And Anthony Joshua was throwing his jab. You know, Daniel Dubois was the stronger fighter. Listened to his corner, executed the game plan. They had a right hook for the left hook. They had everything. And when you got power, you know what's up. He knew that Anthony Joshua couldn't take a punch. If he couldn't take Andy punch, he can't take my punch. Real talk. That was the whole thing. But they didn't come in just knowing he would have a puncher's chance. They knew Anthony Joshua couldn't handle that pressure. And they wasn't scared to get hit. The boys didn't perform like a guy that had a shaky chin. He performed like a guy that come to win. That right hand dropped him. He had AJ moving off his square. And AJ never stopped him from coming to his front door and making a sandwich. Big overhand right. Didn't stop him. He knew that's one of the hardest punches to get away from in boxing is an overhand left or right. And you pulling backwards. And you pulling back. That's a hard punch because when you pull back, your chin going up. So when you pull straight back, a lot of guys that pull straight backs, their hands come down. When you pull straight back like that, keep your hands up. Watch how Crawford handled Madrimov. Keep your hands straight up. Keep your chin tucking your hands up when you pull straight back. And once he hit him with that overhand right, I don't think he really recovered. And then the jab started, like, it's a wrap. His legs was gone after that. The jab dominated everything after that. He hurt him with a left hook. I thought they was going to DQ him when he hit him while he was on the ground. They just tan his ass up. No diddy. He ain't got no legs. They came prepared, bro. The boys' corner came prepared. They had an answer for his left hook. They had an answer for his jab. They had an answer for his, everything. They knew they was going to do this to him. He's the better fighter. Tore his ass out the frame, man. Like I said before, he didn't forget a jab. They counterpunched. He was aggressive. That overhand right is what did it, bro. That was the perfect punch to throw at his back against the ropes. He was going around the over right, coming back with the left hook. He was throwing combinations. You got to understand, heavyweights don't see combinations a lot. This dude was throwing in bunches. He was throwing in bunches. And AJ, and I'd agree with AJ trying to close the show. I really do agree with AJ trying to close the show after he stuck his tongue out. He hurt Daniel Dubois, and Dubois might have been a little bit hurt, or he might have played. I think he played possum. Looking at that again, when he hurt Dubois, I think he was a good shot. He didn't hurt Dubois. Dubois played possum. Dubois baited him into that knockdown because as I'm looking at him right now, bag up, his legs look totally fine. His legs look good. Going to the ropes, he baited AJ into that shot, bro. He countered the right hook with a right hook. AJ threw a left hook before he got knocked out. I think he doubled that left hook out of desperation. He doubled that left hook out of desperation that he was gonna lose. He threw a right hook, came up short. Threw two right hooks, came up short, and he doubled the right. The right hook was the antidote for AJ's left hook. It was a wrap. AJ was already hurt. AJ had no choice. If he didn't get the boys out of there after he felt like he hurt them, it was a wrap. This was inevitable. He got up off his head. They in 10-ounce gloves, 250-pound dudes. They was prepared for that left hook. They was prepared for everything that he threw. And for people going around talking about Anthony Joshua was the best heavyweight around, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, that is what it is. I'm mad I'm breaking out, but it was what it was. But absolutely not. He got dominated. He got dominated, bro. He got dominated. He got dominated. So the boys was well prepared. Anthony Joshua, they knew. You hear the rumors. He couldn't take, he heard them in sparring. They knew what it was, man. And I think that the boys went to the body. His jab was good. He punched in combinations. They had an answer for AJ's left hook, which was his right hook. And I think AJ had another choice at the end of that sequence when he felt like he had the boys hurt, which the boys was playing chicken. Watch that sequence again. Excuse me. You can see Du Bois' legs was there. They were there. He baited AJ into that knockout, and I thought AJ would be too explosive. He could be able to get his head off the line a lot better, and I think the boys controlled the real estate. When he was able to move Anthony Joshua back, and Joshua started boxing on the back foot, that was the end. That was the end, beginning of the end, and then he hit him with the overhand right, pulling straight back with his chin up, his head's down. It was a wrap. He can't, this young lion had a better. He's been groomed to be here. Anthony Joshua was they match made him to be here. Du Bois was groomed. He was in there with Joe Joyce. He was in there with Philip Harkovich. He was in there with Alexander Usyk. He was in tough fights, and just because you lost don't mean that those losses was the reason he won this fight. So, with Anthony Joshua, I think the turning point of his career is when he took that uppercut, when he got dropped by Klitschko. He was never the same aggressive Anthony Joshua again. I think that Klitschko fight took something from him that he never got back. People could point to the Andy Ruiz fight, but when Klitschko dropped him in that fight, after that fight, he was no longer the aggressive Anthony Joshua anymore. He was more tentative, trying to box, and Klitschko is one of the top 5 or 10 heaviest. Vladimir Klitschko, one of the top 5 or 10 heaviest heavyweight punchers, bro. So that ain't nothing to you got hit by a generational puncher. So, but he never was the same fighter after that, in my opinion. So it is what it is, man. But the boys, they popping bottles tonight. He proved me wrong. I was a Du Bois fan, but I didn't think he was gonna get it done. But they got the job done, man. So, yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. But what pretty much happened here is that, what pretty much happened here, the boys knew something. They knew from sparring they could hurt Anthony Joshua. He was very confident. He was very confident in his approach. He knew that he could hurt Anthony Joshua. They were very confident in their approach. They knew they could hurt Anthony Joshua. He came out too confident, bro. So apparently it was probably some truth to that sparring shit, man. So it is what it is, man. But they had the perfect game plan. They knew Anthony Joshua. That's why you got to watch who you coming up, who you sparring with. You know what I'm saying? They had the perfect game plan for Anthony Joshua. So it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcast, Spotify, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Find me on Linktree. Check out the fight reaction playlist. Check out the heavyweight boxing talk playlist. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.